So the nuts are on. It all looks a bit tighter than what it was before. Okay, now to see if the main man can put the wheel in for me. So the wheel looks like they've managed to get in there pretty good for me. Had to call the big guns in to get me rolling, but everyone seems to be having a good time, so as long as she doesn't hit my swing arm or the freshly painted wheels, I'll be a happy camper. But they're all professionals here. There it is, the 260/17 in the bike for the last time. Fresh painted rims, nice chain, looking good. So I will change this sprocket out one day. I've just got to check that the gearing's correct. This is just a bit of a cheap and cheerful chain, so cheap and cheerful sprocket. So we'll try and get a nicer looking one when she's on the road. But for now, that's what we're going to run. Right, front wheel time. Here we go. Down you go. Good on you guys. Now high the camera. High the camera. Well, somehow we survived that with the kids lifting it onto the ground, so we can now put the front wheel stand under. That was a pretty successful mission, I think. So now we'll get the race stand under it and get the nice brand new wheel in there. I've had another look at the front wheel saga, lining it up in the calipers, and I basically had this spacer machined down by a couple of millimeters, so now it's 20 mil instead of 22 where it began, and it's basically it's too small now. So yeah, I probably only needed to take half or 3/4 of a mil off, and I would have been right. But alright, so now I've got to find another spacer and not be so aggressive when I machine it down. Somehow Kane managed to push the intake manifold rubber on. It was really hard for him to get it on, and I'm just pretty happy that we only cut the one of them off, because other than that we would have 3 more to do. It was very tricky. We used hot water, brute force and ignorance, but we got it. There's the plenum chamber going in for the last time. We've cut this piece of silicone hose successfully, and anyway, that's going to bridge the gap between the feed pipe and the part that goes down to the plenum chamber. It's not such a big gap, it's just because it's not locked in correctly. Alright, so let's put that on, Kane? We're going to pull out the fuel injectors off the 1098 that the bike's going to run now, take them down to Bunbury Fuel Injection and Turbocharging Centre, get them to flush them, check that they're all in good nick, compare the flow of them to the original injectors that I was running before, and then after that we'll also get a bung for each end of the fuel rail. Yes! The new thermostats arrived, and I can see it's completely different to the way that the original one is sitting. This one must have been stuck open for quite a while. I've never done a lot of kilometres on the bike, and I just thought that's how it behaved, so quite happy to run a fresh one there. A new O-ring for the thermostat housing, which we painted up the other day, and 3 fresh bolts to get rid of all the old ones, I suppose you'd say. They're all a bit rusty, and this guy here, so we'll put that together, and that's another piece of the puzzle. Before we could put the thermostat housing in, and also that inner plastic tray that I modified once before, we had to finish the plenum chamber off and mount that all up. The clamps are a little bit tricky to get in, but Jed came down the shed tonight and gave me a hand, so we've done quite a good job. It's a little bit tricky trying to get the clamps started. Even that throttle cable holder was a bit of a mission, trying to line him up. Everything barely fits on this bike. 2 more clamps, we've got all that done, and we can do the next part up the front here. We fitted the 2 hose clamps that hold the feed pipe on, remounted the fuel filter, put this panel back in, and now what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick clean up and roll the bike up onto the bench, which also needs a bit of a clean up, and start again with the cooling system. We just need to get it up a bit higher so that we can have some more access, a bit more light, and make sure we get that radiator in properly and the rest of it. We've got the bike off the race stands. This is the first time we've sat it down on the side stand with that 200 series rear tyre, Zx10 rear suspension, and the Ducati front forks. It seems to lean over quite a bit, so I think that will need to be rectified in the side stand. But basically it all looks quite nice. Fitted the regulator back up and mounted this fuel filter better than last time I done it. Just trying to finalise the Zx10 suspension in my J model, and what's happening is I've had to sleeve down this front bolt mount to take the Zx10 front bolt because mine wouldn't go through the Zx10 suspension linkage. So where we're up to is I've seen other people on the forums actually drill their Zx10 lower shocky mount out to run the bigger bolt. So I'm going to jump on the ZXR group tonight and just ask the boys how they've done it, because I think I'm missing something with the big picture here, because this is the J model lower suspension linkage, and I reckon all those boys seem to run that down the bottom and just drill this lower shocky mount out. So I better see what I'm doing wrong, because it's not quite straightforward, and I don't think anyone else has actually had to sleeve that bolt down, that bolt hole down. So we'll see what we can find out. I posted up on the ZXR forum last night. Got some good info. Basically, everyone is doing what I've done. They're either sleeving the front of the frame here, or they're widening the groove and drilling the lower shock mount. So what I'm doing is okay, and yeah, I'm going to give it a go. My main problem is the bolt's too short now. So on my bike, that bolt there is where I mount the header or the dump pipe from the turbo. So I need to get a longer bolt. Now it's up on the bench, I'll be able to jack it up, do it a bit easier. But today's task is going to be radiator. There's the radiator. I didn't paint it in the end. I painted the outer shield. It's got a lot of battle scars on it, but that's what it's going to be. Got some fresh fasteners to hold it all together, and that's where it's going to go. The Samco hose kit deletes all your stock hoses. These are made of silicon. They last forever. These are just your normal rubber ones. I've got to keep a few of my standard, or my modified ones, which are like the red one up the back here, because it wraps around the turbocharger. It's a very high heat rating on that hose, so there's a few of those I've got to keep, but hopefully all these ones, which that's a similar length, should be. All the thermostat ones, they're all about to be fitted now. We managed to fit the hoses on quite easy on this side. They push on, they're beautiful and soft. There's a slight bit of pitting in the radiator. Not sure how that's going to go. I'll have to get it all up and running and see if that's going to create any drama for us. I don't think it goes right through, but you know, it doesn't take much to have a coolant leak. Next hose we're going to have a crack at is this one here, this large one, which he ends up disappearing under the turbo headers. I can't remember if that's a full length pipe or hose, or if we've modified it, we'll see. This one here will be piece of cake because he's just your standard quacker hose, but this is the one we've got to change now. Well, that's it for tonight. Better go inside now and edit the footage together so I've got something to upload for tomorrow. This pipe in here is proving to be a little bit difficult as I've extended it, and it's slightly different in diameter to the hose I'm trying to fit. So what we're going to have to do, Jed can't push it on, going to have to get Kane down here and see what we can do, because it doesn't quite fit. So that's going to be me for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll have another crack next week. Cheers.